Morning, everybody. It's Serena. Just wanted to reach out this morning, say hi to everybody, share some thoughts that I was having. It's kind of early in the morning here on Seattle time. It's about 3:30 in the morning, and it's the time of day where I like to do a lot of prayer and positive intention work because I think it's the time of day where it needs the most positive counterbalance. Some people know what I mean, others won't, but you need to find out. I was having some thoughts. It's hard not to be stuck to your phone and looking at every new little piece of information that comes in. And before you know it, your hours slip away and your anxiety ramps up. And I think it's a pretty normal reaction because we're conditioned. We're conditioned to having all this information at the tip of our fingers. But right now we still have the accessibility, but the information that's coming out isn't offering any solutions. And no clear idea of what's really going on. If anything, it's making the confusion worse. And so I want to remind everybody to just come together, talk to each other, love each other. Things are crazy. Division. If we're made to disagree with each other, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So let's not fight amongst ourselves, people. It's hard enough as it is, and I'm not so high and mighty that I can't say that I've engaged in some frustration and some frustrated words with people or differences of opinion, but I'm trying to do better and be better and choose to do better. For the most part, I'm doing pretty good. 1 or 2 slips. It's not ideal, but I'll take it for now. It's a place to start from, right? I was thinking about how we get our information. We get all of our information right at the tip of our fingers with our phones and with our computers and our laptops. And it makes me wonder how we would get our information if we didn't have these things. If we didn't have internet suddenly, or there's broadcast interruptions, or if pirates were to take over the broadcast system, how would we get information from our leaders? Something to think about, If you guys remember the emergency broadcast system, it kind of sounds like the beginning of the Jerry Springer show, which is alarming if you think about it. But remember on the old school TVs, the antenna TVs, where, this beep, please stand by for the emergency broadcast system. So if things ever, like if we had an EMP pulse or some kind of sunspot that knocked out all of our internet, who knows, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a broadcast person, but maybe those old TVs and that broadcast system would be a way to get some information. Having a plan with your family that's not close to you, how to get hold of each other, your guys' physical address in case we have to use mail system if it still works, or or meeting places in town if you guys decided as a family that you needed to leave. And sometimes it's as simple as having a time of day that you check in with each other on the daily. And if that gets interrupted, at least have a time of day where you can get together individually at your homes and focus your prayers or your intentions and thoughts, knowing at the same time the person on the other side is doing that as well. It helps feel more connected and less anxious, I think. It helps me feel less anxious, knowing that, okay, well, if I tune in right now or meditate or say a prayer, excuse me, like I have a friend of mine and we try to do that at 11:11. It's positive thoughts out in the universe at the same time, and it's like a multiplier, right? So we get higher bonuses. I just think it's a good idea, and it's something fun to try and do, while we have the time. And another thing that made me kind of think was, we're so conditioned to having all this information, and what would happen if suddenly we didn't have any information and nothing was coming in, nothing. and we couldn't go anywhere, but nothing was coming in on the radio or, old school TVs or ham or any of that. What if we got nothing? What would we do? What would we do? Do you know what to do? A lot of us don't. People feel like action sometimes is the solution to everything. And I think in that particular situation, if suddenly we went from having all the information we could ever want at our fingertips to having nothing, I think the best reaction to that would be what I call at my house a holding pattern. It's where you say, okay, you hold tight and wait, hurry up and wait, and not react. Don't freak out because you don't have the information. Don't assume the worst because you're not getting anything from our normal conditioned availability to having information. So if you were to wake up tomorrow and there was no television, there was no internet, and there was no radio, and the post office wasn't doing its thing, and you just had no newspaper, no source of information on the pulse of what's going on out there, what would you do? Freak out, reset the router, unplug your phone, plug it back in, change the batteries, do all that. But what would you do then? Would you assume the worst? Would you be afraid? Would you panic? Would you run out in the streets and break your quarantine? What would you do? I hope you wouldn't do those things. I wouldn't do those things. The thought might occur at first, but what I would do, and I'm not an expert at anything, but it seems kind of a good idea if that were to happen to me, and I'd wake up and there was no internet or information coming in at all in this situation that we're in right now in the world. The first thing I would do is walk the perimeter of my house, make sure everything is good and that there's no immediate threats of fire or anything funky outside, make sure everything's calm and clear like it's been, check all the doors on the house, make sure everything's good, and then talk to my family and say, hey, this is what it is. When it's back, it's back. We have to entertain ourselves in other ways, and until then, we're in a holding pattern. So we'll move forward, stay positive, stay calm, not be afraid, but, maybe ration our food a little bit, portion control, have somebody that stays awake. In my house, we have a group of people, and so at least one person is always awake in the house, and that way, if anything changes or if there was a fire situation or something like that, that somebody's always on watch and paying attention and can alert the others here if they need to. But we wouldn't freak out. We wouldn't run out to the neighbors and break quarantine. We wouldn't panic and assume the worst. We would assume that it is what it is. No news is not necessarily bad news. And we'd have to entertain ourselves in ways that we're not used to. It's been a while, right? When's the last time you put together a puzzle or weeded the garden? We did. I don't know. It's early. Coffee. I'm recycling this beautiful plastic Burger King cup because it holds the best iced coffee, and I can fit the most iced coffee in it, and it's delicious. I love it. Strange days, right, folks? A little bit of strange days. If you find yourself anxious and worried, I want to remind you guys before I go, I don't want to make this too long. I just want to remind you, anxiety is a liar. It is. It knows everything we're afraid of and uses it against us. And so if you start to feel ramped up, talk to people. Sometimes just getting it out of your head helps take the pressure off. And if that doesn't work, remind yourself that anxiety is a fucking liar. And don't pay it any mind. It doesn't have any value. To the best of your ability, it's not always something that can be controlled, but do your best. And just remember, we're all in this together. We're going to do our best. We're going to get through. And remember, no news is not necessarily bad news. So don't assume the worst. Stay positive and keep the positive momentum. And stay close to the people that you care about. And be grateful for the time that you have with them. Thank you very much for listening to me babble this morning. It's nice to feel like I'm doing some kind of positive and throwing some positive out into the world. I hope that it finds ears that need it. In Seattle, we are blessed to be healthy, happy, grateful, secure, and with enough. And I pray that all of your families also have that same blessing. And if I could just ask one thing, let's everybody just close our eyes and focus our thoughts and our attentions to pray to our various beautiful gods, that the people that are out there caring for us right now, the workers, the hospital people, the truck drivers, postal people, our leaders that are doing their best. Let's pray that they all have the best result and that they're blessed and protected, and have our gratitude and our sincere thanks for the efforts that they're making. So, all right. I hope you all have a wonderful day. All my love from Seattle. This is Serena. Thank you again for listening, and I'll talk to you guys later.